favorite ways to warm up is Chinese hot pot. And today on Eat by Tang, I'm going to show you how to make homemade hot pot from scratch. And I'm first going to start off with our homemade hot pot soup base. Now I know most people go to the store and buy the pre-packaged soup base, but it's really easy to make it yourself. Plus, it tastes a lot better and it's a lot healthier. And today we're going to be having a Sichuan style hot pot that's spicy, rich, and super flavorful. So the spices you're going to need to make your own Sichuan style hot pot are a couple of tablespoons Sichuan peppercorns. It looks sort of like this. These have a mouth-numbing spicy flavor that isn't hot like chili peppers, but give off a cool tingling sensation. And you're also going to need dried chili peppers, some star anise, a tablespoon fermented and preserved Chinese black beans. Now these beans are not made for eating. These are really salty and they give our hot pot a really strong umami flavor. Chinese hot bean paste, about a tablespoon of this. Get the preservative-free one, and anywhere from 1 to 2 tablespoons of hot chili paste. You will also need a couple tablespoons of Chinese red goji berries, 1 or 2 cups of jujube or Chinese red dates, garlic, ginger, cinnamon stick. We're not going to use the entire thing. We're probably just going to use about this much. 1 or 2 teaspoons of fennel or cumin seeds. For the garlic, I'm going to give them a little crush just to release the flavor. And of course, some salt. Now, I have homemade chicken broth that I made 3 hours before. I made the chicken stock by placing a whole chicken in cold water along with some ginger, Chinese red dates, and Chinese rice wine. I brought all of that to a boil and then add in some spices, fennel seed, bay leaves, star anise, cinnamon stick. I let all of that boil for about 2 to 3 hours until flavorful. So what I'm basically going to do is just fry up a bunch of spices in the wok and then just pour in some chicken broth. That's how simple it is. Heat up our wok on high. I'm first going to toast up some spices. 1 to 2 tablespoons of Sichuan peppercorns and lots of red chilies depending on your spice tolerance. I then add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil to a hot wok, and then the remaining dried spices, star anise and cumin. 1 tablespoon of fermented black beans, 2 tablespoons of chili paste, 1 tablespoon spicy bean paste. I'm just going to give this a stir fry. Throw in the fresh garlic and fresh ginger. And what I'm doing here is basically tempering the spices, which gives our hot pot that extra oomph. Now, start adding in our chicken stock. And I really recommend that you use homemade chicken stock because it just makes the broth taste so much more flavorful. Okay, now that I've put in the homemade chicken stock, turn the heat back up to high and wait for it to boil. Once it's boiling, I'm going to turn it down back again to a simmer and let it simmer for just about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to add in Chinese red dates, some goji berries. It just adds a small hint of sweetness. And this is now a rolling boil. I'm going to flavor it with salt. Just flavor it accordingly because it's boiling. A lot of the water in the chicken stock has already evaporated. So it's going to get a pot of hot water boiling and add in about 2 to 3, maybe 4 cups of hot water. I'm going to cover this, and while I wait for the hot pot to simmer and marinate, I'm going to prepare our hot pot veggies, meat, seafood, and hot pot sauces. Lots of leafy greens, daikon radish, broccoli, mushrooms, lotus root, taro root. Now just chop all of these into medium-sized chunks. Here my mom is slicing some squid. And you want to cut the seafood and meat into thin as possible slices so they can cook quickly in the hot pot. For the daikon, I like to spiralize it into long threads of daikon noodles. And I do the same with carrots. And I just love having carrot noodles in hot pot. One of my favorite hot pot sauces is sesame oil and garlic. We're going to have to peel 2 to 3 heads of garlic. And I know nobody has time to peel 2 to 3 heads of garlic, so I'm going to show you a little trick. You get 2 bowls, one a little bit smaller than the other, and I'm going to make some noise. aggression or anger you have. And you can see the skins are already sort of falling off. Mince the garlic into really fine pieces. A garlic crusher comes super handy. Now once I have all the garlic cloves crushed, I'm just going to add in enough sesame oil, about 2 to 3 tablespoons to cover all of the garlic. And this is going to be a really super flavorful sauce that you can dip into in our hot pot. The hot pot soup base has been simmering for 10 to 15 minutes, and now it's ready to be transferred into our hot pot. Now I have this special kind where it's divided into two, where you can have the spicy and the non-spicy one. Just burning red, it just screams spicy. And of course you can just filter the spices out, like the ginger, the chili peppers, but you know what, I like leaving it in there because it's just going to make our broth more flavorful. You know what, I'm just going to dump it all in, just like that. Smells good already. And then for the other half, I have just non-spicy, regular chicken stock. Try not to get the chicken in there. The chicken is for my dog. Whatever meat you have to your heart's desire. A little tour of what I have on the table: wood air mushrooms, seaweed, bamboo shoots, kale stems, tofu, black noodle, squid, shrimp, and an array of vegetables. This is what makes our hot pot so healthy. Taro and lotus root, spiralized carrots and daikon. It's really important that you slice your meat really thin when you're eating hot pot. That way it can cook super fast. And I like to have a separate chopstick that's different from the one that I use for eating, just so that it's sanitary and there's no contamination. And of course, a sauce to dip our veggies and meat. The garlic paste, pickled veggies, pickled garlic. This is extremely tasty. Some chopped scallion, cilantro. My personal favorite is some Chinese black vinegar mixed with fresh chopped cilantro, scallion, chili sauce, and that garlic sesame paste. When cooking the ingredients, I like to start with the stuff that takes the longest to cook. So broccoli, taro, lotus. And for leafy greens, you only want to cook them a couple minutes to preserve their taste and nutrition. I also got some firm tofu. It's really important that you use firm and not soft tofu for hot pot, or else it'll just fall apart. And I know I may look like I'm adding a bunch of stuff at once to the hot pot, but it's really important that you don't overcrowd the hot pot so that everything cooks evenly. And now it's time to eat. You always have ready some hot water on hand. When you're cooking the hot pot, a lot of the water is going to evaporate. If you want to keep on eating, just keep on pouring in hot water. Really good. Definitely had that spicy kick. I hope that you try out your homemade hot pot. I've got some hot pot to eat, and I'll see you next time.